All right, so our first section we're going to look at in 2.1, it's on inequalities. And in chapter 2, we're going to do exactly the same thing you guys did in chapter 1. Okay, you know how we had equations like x plus 3 equals 12? Well, once we get to, I think, tomorrow's section and the next day, we're going to take the same thing. We're just going to change this symbol. Okay, and what we change it to is one of the 4 symbols that we're about to describe. Okay, either less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We'll go through each one just to make sure people know which one is which. Okay, so the first thing, and hopefully I left enough room for the blank. Mr. Roy's the master at doing this, so I might not have left enough space, but if you need to write above it or below it, whatever you have to do. All right, so it says an inequality symbol is a symbol that compares 2 expressions. Okay, so it compares 2 expressions. So that's the first blank on your notes. Okay, so here's an expression on the left. Here's an expression on the right. And I can compare them using that symbol if I want. Okay? And the way I would solve this and the way I would solve the equation, exactly the same thing. All right? So it's kind of a lot of the same steps that you've already learned. Does anybody know what makes the top one an equation? The top one is not an inequality. And it has to do with just one thing that's written there. Yeah, Marissa? Yeah. Anytime you put an equal sign, it's an equation. Okay? If you put in one of these 4 symbols, that's an inequality. Okay, and there are 4 basic inequality symbols. Okay, we'll go through the names of them, and then we'll practice using them a little bit. Okay, does anybody know the name of the first one? What's that first one, Shannon?
Less than.
Yeah, that's a less than. Okay, so you can say is less than. Anybody know another way to say that? And you've got a little bit of room in the box to write this in. You could say it's less than, or yep, you could say is fewer than. Okay, so one of the things we're gonna practice doing is changing a sentence into symbols. Okay, those are the common ones you'd see. Less than, fewer than. I don't think you'd really see too much else. Okay, how about this next symbol? Yeah, Bay?
Is less than or equal to?
Yeah, once you put this little line under it, okay, that line makes it an equal to. And there's another way to say this one. Okay, and you've got some room to write it in. It's a little tricky. Okay, if I said to you, I have less than or equal to $20. Okay, I have less than or equal to $20 right now. What's anybody know another way to say that? Okay?
About.
All right, we're going to be a little bit more specific. Say, for example, you had to be a certain age or less to go on a ride. Like, let's say the ride was only if you were 12 or younger. So you could say you have to be at blank to go on the ride. You can be at blank to go on this ride. And that would mean 12 years old or younger. At. So you could say, yeah, like the limit is as high as you can go. Anyone have any other thoughts?
Like the most you can go?
Yeah, the most. Okay, so another phrase that means, or a couple more phrases that mean less than or equal to, is at most. Okay, so if I said to you, I have at most $20, that means I have $20 or less. Okay, so the phrase at most. And I'm not sure, somebody might have said this, kind of like the limit. I have no more than $20. Okay? Don't have more than $20. That means I have 20 or less. Okay, and we'll see these same kind of phrases again when we get to greater than or equal to, except they're kind of the opposite. All right, how about that third symbol? You want to tell me what that third symbol is? Yep, Liam?
Greater than?
Yep, that's your greater than. And if you take a look at the less than symbol up above, is fewer than was another way to say it. How about, anybody think they know another way we could say?
Greater.
Yeah, another way to say is greater than. Yeah?
Higher than.
Yeah. Okay. Sarah has more money than John. Right? So you could put something like, Sarah has more money than John. The amount of money Sarah has is greater than John. Right? And my last symbol. Okay. Jordy, how do you say that last one?
Oh, is greater than or equal to?
Yep. So that's one of the three ways we can say it. It's greater than or equal to. How about a second way? Okay. Yeah, we could say at least. Okay, perfect. So if I said to you, you have to be at least 18 years old to vote. At least 18 means you have to be 18 or more, 18 or greater. Okay. And the last way to say it is to say no less than. Okay. So again, thinking of that example that I just said, like voting, I could say you can be no less than 18 years old to vote. Okay. That's a little tricky. I don't like putting like a negative in like that. Like you can be no less than 18 years old. I would just say you have to be 18 or older. Okay. But those are all different ways. Okay, any questions on that? All right, so now what we're going to try to do is take some phrases, okay, like that, and we're going to translate them into an inequality. Okay, we might have addition, subtraction in there too, and a lot of times they're going to tell us what to use for a variable. And we'll just see if we can rewrite it. All right. Besides the variable, which I already underlined, does anybody see anything else there that is important? Yeah, minus. That's going to tell us some kind of operation. Okay, minus. Anything else that's going to be pretty important here? Shannon?
Less than or equal to.
Yeah, less than or equal to. Okay, that's going to tell me the inequality symbol. Anything else there that's important? Yeah? Yeah, we've got to have the numbers. Without those, we wouldn't have anything on the left and the right of the inequality. All right, so Ashley, do you think you can tell me this first part? W minus 3.5, how would you write that?
I don't know.
Instead of having words, what would you replace there with a symbol? Minus. What would you put in? So like what operation is minus?
Subtraction.
Subtraction. Right? So we just write it as W subtracting 3.5. Okay, that's the first part. This one, it's not really tricky to figure out the symbol. They pretty much tell you. Okay, what's the symbol going to be here?
Equal?
Less than or equal. Right? So less than or equal. Which way does the less than symbol point? To the which way? You're not sure? Yeah. Okay, yeah, it opens to the right. So if you're looking at like which way it points, less than points to the left. Okay, you know how I kind of remember it? Look at this symbol. If you rotate it, what letter does that kind of look like?
C.
Well, pretend the sides are straight. Yeah.
L.
Kind of looks like an L. Okay, so
It's a V.
less than L, think L points to the left. All right, so less than or equal to. Okay, what makes that symbol the equal to? What did I have to add to the less than sign? I had to put the what?
A line underneath.
Yeah, you put that little line under it, right? And then it says, is less than or equal to, what number goes on the other side? Yep, Ashley? -2. That's it. Okay, so on the test, you'll have some just like that. Okay, different phrases and operations, and you just have to change it into this. Now, tomorrow we would take the next step, and then we would solve this for W. Anybody think they know how to solve for W? Exactly the same way as if this was an equal sign. You don't do anything different on this problem. Yeah, Josh?
You add -3.5.
Yeah, you'd add 3.5 to both sides. Okay? We're not solving this, but that's what you would do. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, 3 is less than a number n plus 5. 3 is less than a number n plus 5. Okay, anyone think they can tell me what I should start off with here? Antonio?
3 on the left-hand side.
Yeah, 3. So there's 3 is less than. Now it tells me what to use for my number. Okay, what letter, Hannah, what letter am I using for my number here? N. So we got the N. Okay, how about Maggie? What operation is plus?
Addition.
Yeah, it's addition. So we got N plus. And Sabrina, what am I adding to N? 5. That's it. 3 is less than N plus 5. Okay, any questions on that one?
No.
Okay, I'm going to make up one. I'm going to make up one that uses like one of these at most or at least. Okay, we'll do one of those because I didn't put one on here. All the ones that I put on here are pretty much the direct ones. Is less than or equal to, is greater than. Those are the 4 easiest ones to do. Okay, how about C? 0 is greater than or equal to twice a number, x plus 1. Okay, let's start with the beginning. 0 is greater than or equal. Yeah, Ashley?
We do 0, then
Yep, and which way does that greater than or equal point?
to the right.
Yes, that's going to point to the right. Okay, so we start off with that. All right, next part. Okay, we got the 0, we got the is greater than or equal to, twice a number x. Okay, how do you write twice a number x? Not just x, but twice x. Okay?
To the power of, I think it's like you would write a little 2 to the, like in the top right of the number.
All right, so I think you're thinking of something like this.
Yeah.
All right, so that's called squaring. Okay, so if it said something like 0 is greater than a number squared, that's how you would do it. But this one doesn't say square, it just says twice x. Yeah, 2x. Okay, 2x means to take x and then double it. So we've got this part, twice x. And what's the last thing I need? Derek? Only thing we haven't used yet.
+1.
Yeah, we need the plus 1. Okay, so any question on those three? Did anyone think they can give me one? I don't know. You got a little bit of space below C. We could write this one in. Can somebody give me one that uses, let's pick one of the phrases we haven't. Let's use at least. Okay, see if you can think, and we can take a couple of them, but we'll just write one of them down. I'd like to think of a phrase that uses at least. You want to take Antonio? You got one?
I'm just making it.
You're making one, writing it down. Okay, so think. Here's one example. You have to be at least 18 years old to vote. Okay, that's one we could do. But let's I'll let you guys try to come up with your own, and we'll do that one. Anybody think of something different that uses the phrase at least? Yep.
I got 5 is at least 2x plus 10.
Okay, let's write that down. So 5 is at least twice. You said twice the number x?
Twice number x.
All right, so twice a number x plus 10. All right, so that one's a little tricky because now it's using that phrase at least. Now you have to know, does that mean greater than or equal to or less than or equal to? So I always put things in terms of money. That kind of helps me to make sense of it. I say, well, if I have at least $20, does that mean I have $20 or more? I have at least 20, or does that mean I have $20 or less? Yeah, it means 20 or more. So 5, and what symbol would I put? Is at least. So that symbol is, yeah.
So greater than or equal to.
Perfect. 5 is at least, okay, we've got that part. Easily, how about the next one? Twice x. Good, yeah, it's the same kind of thing we did before, 2x. And now the last part. How about Trenton? Plus?
Plus.
What operation is plus?
Addition.
Addition, yep. And what are you adding? 2x plus 10. Perfect. Okay, I know you didn't have a ton of space to write that one in, but there's one that a little harder. Okay, so questions on doing that? It's not too bad. Right? Okay, everybody have that example? Perfect. All right, so next thing. Okay, a solution of an inequality. Okay, that's what goes on your blank. Okay, a solution to an inequality, or a solution of an inequality, is a value that you can plug in, and it makes it true. None of space? Oh, none of space. Just right above it. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm just going to make something up. I'm not going to do it in words. Let's just do it like this. 3x is greater than 10. Can somebody give me a solution to that inequality? 3 times something is greater than 10.
4.
Sure. X equals 4 is a solution. 3 times 4 is greater than 10. Well, what's another number that's a solution?
7.
Yeah, 7. 3 times 7, that's 21. 21 is greater than 10. Okay, any of these numbers that you guys are saying are solutions. Okay. How about if you had something like this? 3x equals 12.
4.
4. What's another solution to that? What do you think? Is there another solution?
No.
No. Okay, when we have equations, a lot of times there's only one number that works. Okay, but when you have an inequality, you could pick tons of different numbers. 10 would work, 3 times 10. 30 is bigger than 10. 3 times 50, that comes out bigger than 10. There's a lot of different answers. Okay, so that's the point. So inequalities a lot of times have a ton of answers. Equations usually don't have as many. Okay? And if we're trying to describe all the numbers that work, okay, every single number that you could plug in for x here and have it work, that's called the solution set. Okay? And that goes on your second line on your notes. Okay, so right after where it says the inequality, the set of solutions that make the inequality true, that is called the solution set. Right, so let me just make something simple up. 2x is less than 20. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we just do less than or equal. Does anybody see the biggest number that I could plug in for x? And I can't go any bigger than this number. Yep, Shannon? 10. 10 is the biggest value you can pick. As long as you pick anything smaller than 10 for x, it'll work. Okay? Numbers smaller than 10, that's called the solution set. And we don't write them, right? Because how many numbers are there smaller than 10?
9.
More than that.
Thousands.
More than that.
Millions.
No.
5 trillion.
Infinity, right? There's an endless amount of numbers that are smaller than 10. You can go as small as you want. So,
Can I put like negative 4 million?
no. I'll show you how we write. Tomorrow we're going to end up writing the answer like this. Okay, you don't have to write that right now, but that's the answer to this problem. Any number less than or equal to 10. That's how you write it. Okay, so what do we call those again? All the numbers that are the answer to an inequality? The solution set. Perfect. Okay, so first one here, this one you don't have written on your notes, so you got to write that example in. It says x plus 8 is less than negative 3. Okay, I want to know if negative 4 is a solution. All right, how did you tell, Antonio? What do you do to tell if that's a solution?
So I plugged in negative 4 into x.
Perfect, he said it exactly right. Take negative 4, plug it in for x. All right, and now what did you do?
So then I added 8 and negative 4, which comes up to positive 4.
Comes out to positive 4.
Which is greater than negative 3, so that's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong. 4 is not less than negative 3. Okay, that is wrong. Okay. We didn't get something true. We got something that was... What did we get there? We didn't get a true statement. Marissa?
Oh, I'm not sure.
What kind of statement did we get? Well, what's the opposite of true? False. Okay, we got a statement that was not true. Okay, that was false. So that is not a solution. Okay, so just write no. Okay, negative 4 is not a solution. All right, let's try this one. It says negative 4.5, so we might need a calculator. Negative 4.5x is greater than negative 21. Okay, so Kaylee, if I want to know if negative 4 is a solution, what's the first thing I have to do with negative 4? So what did we do with negative 4 in that first one? Yeah, we put it in where x was, right? So we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, take negative 4, plug it in for x. and see what happens. Okay? If we get something that's true, then we know, yeah, it's a solution. If we get something that's false, like we did last time, it's not a solution. Now, can I just put -4 in for x? Can I just do it like that? Liam, what's wrong if I do it that way?
Oh, because you didn't. I don't know. Oh, because it's not hooked up to 5. I take that back. I don't think there's anything wrong with it anymore.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Anyone else think that what I wrote there is okay? Or if it's not okay, why not? Yeah, Si?
I think it's not okay because then you have to multiply the 4 times -4 times the -4.5.
Well, what does it look like it's right now? This is if you mean multiplication, this is extremely confusing. In fact, this is not right. What does this look like, Josh? Any thoughts what that one looks like? Yeah.
It looks like it's like
Yeah, to me that looks like subtraction. It looks like you're saying -4.5 minus 4. Okay, if you want multiplication, really, you got to put it in parentheses. Now, I know you definitely mean multiplication. Okay, if we need a calculator, we can use that. But does anybody know what negative? Well, let's just start. What's a negative times a negative? All right, so we know it's positive. And what's 4.5 times 4?
18.
What'd you get?
I got 8.
Yeah, you could just check it on your calculator. Yep, you get 18.
I have a question. Can I go check down at the bathroom with my lunchbox?
What's that?
I have my lunch bag.
Oh, you want to get? Sure, you can go. Just sign up for me. All right, so I got 18 is greater than -21. Okay, so what do we think about that? 18 is greater than -21. Yes? How many people think that that's true? 18 is bigger. Yep. Anybody think 18 is smaller than -21? Yeah, a positive is always bigger than a negative. All right, so that's true. So who can tell me what does that mean? What does that mean about -4 in this case? Josh? Yeah, it's true. So what do you mean it's true? So I agree, I got a true statement, but what does that mean?
Is that 18 is greater than 21?
Okay, 18 is greater than -21, but how does that help me to answer the question? Exactly, -4, maybe not the only solution, but it at least is one of the solutions. Okay, there might be a ton of numbers we can plug in. So the answer here is yes. Okay. Tell whether -4 is a solution? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, works perfect. Okay, any questions on that one? Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our last thing. Okay, so on the back, that's your last example for today. All right, how many people have graphed inequalities before? Like they use a circle, sometimes they fill the circle in, sometimes they don't fill it in. People done that?
I have, but I never.
Not understand. Okay, well hopefully I can help it make sense. Anybody who's done that before kind of know like when you're graphing something, like when you fill in a circle, when you don't? Anybody remember that? All right, well let's take a look at it. So we're talking about different kinds of graphs. Like sometimes when we graph these, we're going to use what's called a filled-in circle or a closed circle. Sometimes we use an open circle. Right? Which one we use, we got to figure out when. When do we use the filled-in circle? When do we use?
We use the open circle when it's the lines and moving on the graph.
Yeah.
It's going from one point to another.
All right, so on the top of that blank, you might need a little more space, but what you want to fill in there is graph of an inequality. Okay? The graph of an inequality shows you all the solutions. Okay? It's just a way to draw the answers rather than write it as a sentence. Okay, so here's an example of something we'll do in about 2 minutes, 5 minutes. But that's an example of drawing the solutions, okay, rather than writing it. Okay, whenever we graph an inequality, okay, you guys already have this on your notes. Okay, make sure it's in this form: letter, symbol, number. Okay, this symbol can be any one of these four. Okay, what you don't want to do is have the number on the left. Okay, even though this is technically the same thing, that's going to be confusing. Does anybody know why? If you write it this way, it's technically correct, but it's going to be confusing when we draw it. Anybody know why? Well, when you shade it, you have to shade in a certain direction. If you put the letter on the left, what's nice about this symbol is it's going to tell you which way you got to shade. Right? If you don't do this, then the symbol will not tell you which way to shade. Okay, so always set it up just like that. And then your inequality symbol tells you which way to shade. All right, now on your note sheet, I don't think this part copied perfectly. Do you guys have the equal to's under those? All right, make sure you add those in on your note sheet. Okay, so we use an open circle. Okay, that's just a circle that you don't fill it in. And that part, actually, I think that part was okay on your notes, but how about the one below it? Did it put these symbols on your notes? No? Okay, add those two symbols in. Okay, on your notes, put this here and put that there. Okay, so the way you figure out, is this a problem where I should use a filled in circle or a circle that's empty? Look at this symbol. If it's got something extra under it, okay, if it's got the extra line under it, you got to take the extra step and fill in the circle. Okay, that's how I remember it. If the symbol has more stuff, I have to do more stuff with the circle. Okay, if you had a problem like this, it doesn't have the extra symbol under it for equal to, don't do anything extra like filling in the circle. Okay, so hopefully that kind of makes sense. Okay. Emma, what symbol is that? Less than. And this one? Greater than. So anytime you got a less than or a greater than, don't fill the circle in. Antonio, what symbol is this one?
Less than or equal to?
Yep, and the one next to it?
Greater than or equal to?
Okay, anytime you have one of those two symbols that he just said, you got to fill in that circle. All right, and you might wonder, well, where do you even put a circle? Well, look at the number. In this case, it's a 5. In that case, it's a 10. You're going to have a number line. Okay, just like you have on your notes. You put the circle right on that number. Okay, whatever number is there, that's where you put your circle. Okay, and then the last step is, and I think I already wrote this for you, shade on the number line from where you put the circle in the direction that this inequality points. And that's it. Okay, so step 1, make sure it's in this form. Step 2, put your circle. Step 3, shade from the circle. either left or right. All right, so let me, I'll leave those steps up. Now let's try this one. Okay, yeah, you've got to write that in. Okay, y is less than or equal to -3. Okay, generally what Mr. Roy and I would do on a test for you is we'll have the number line already numbered. This one's not, so we've got to number it. So let's just go like -3, -2, -1, 0. You don't have to number the whole thing. Just number a few. All right. So is my inequality set up the way that it should be? What do you think, Kai? Yeah, this looks good, right? I got a letter, symbol, number. It's exactly what I want. Letter, symbol, number. All right, now I got to decide, should I do a open circle or a filled in circle? Liam, what kind of circle do I need?
Filled in.
Filled in, how'd you know that?
Because it says less than or equal to.
Right, anytime you've got the less than or equal to, that's one of the symbols that you fill it in. And where are you going to put the circle? On what number?
-3.
Perfect. So filled in circle, -3. Okay, am I done? No, I got one more thing. Shade the number line in the direction of the arrow. So which way am I going to shade this time? To the, yeah,
Right.
right? So that's
Yeah.
towards the door?
Yeah.
Which way is that inequality sign pointing?
Oh, never mind. Go to the-
Pointing left, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pointing to the left. So we're shading this way.
Ooh, I'm cold.
All right, so that's the direction that has all numbers less than -3. Remember, less than is left. Okay, any questions on that one? All right, second one, little trickier. Okay, Natalie, is the second one 2 less than x? Is that written the way I want it?
No.
No. What's wrong with it? That's backwards, right? I don't want the letter on the right. I want the letter on the left. I want the number on the right. But when I rewrite it, I got to be careful with this symbol. This symbol is pointing at which number right now? It's pointing at the 2. When I rewrite it, it still has to point at the 2. If it doesn't, then I rewrote it wrong. That's how you want to rewrite it. Okay? So always put the letter on the left, put the number on the right, keep it pointing at the same thing.
Why do we have to do that?
We're going to do that so this way it tells us which way to shade. Okay? If you don't, what's going to happen is this tells you the wrong way to shade. Okay, so we want it so it tells us the right way to shade. All right, so now we've got number, symbol, letter. Letter, symbol, number, if I can read. Perfect. What kind of circle this time? Open circle or closed circle? Open. And what number do we put it on? 2. Okay, so on your number line, just mark a few numbers. It doesn't matter how you do it exactly. Open circle on 2. Don't fill it in this time. And which way am I going to shade? Yeah, we're going to shade the way the inequality tells us. To the right. Okay? So all numbers that are greater than 2. Okay, greater, that's to your right. Right, and last one, for example, 3, and then we'll finish up pretty much the same type of problem next, except I'm going to give you the picture, and you're going to tell me how I got the picture. So it's going to be just the reverse of this. Okay, Iselise, is this one set up the way we want? Yep, this is perfect. We've got letter, symbol, number. Exactly, so we don't have to do anything for step one. Okay, how about Ashley? Open circle or closed circle? Perfect, open circle. And Emily, where am I going to put the open circle? What number?
It's going to be on 0.
Yep, it's going to be on 0. Open circle on 0. Anything else I got to do, or is that enough? Kyle, what do you think? Do I have anything else I have to do?
Oh, crap.
Yeah, I got to put my arrow, right? I got to shade. And which way do you want to shade this time? Left or right? Yeah, it's pointing to the right. So we're going to shade to the right. Now, some people like to do it above the number line. That's okay. If you want to draw the circle above it and shade, I do it right on the number line. Okay, but either way is fine. Okay, so that's called graphing an inequality. Okay, it's just another way to show the answer. Okay, on the test, you're not going to have to graph every problem. Okay, there'll be some problems where I say, you can just write your answer like this. But then there'll be some problems where I ask you to do this, and I say, draw a picture of it, graph it. All right, so the last problem.
Wait.
Yep, this is it, last two. Okay, and then after this, those people that need to start homework can, I'll let some people do that. If you need to work on your test, you can also do that.
Do the homework and go to the bathroom.
Yep, just sign out for me. All right, so this one is like the reverse of the last one. Okay, you don't have to draw the picture. I already did. I just want you to tell me how I would get that picture. Okay, I want to know that. Okay, and as far as a letter, you can pick any letter you want. You can pick X, you can pick Y. Just don't pick a letter that looks like a number. Don't do the letter O or like I. You know, if you make your I, it could look like a 1. So Liam, what letter do you want to use here?
I just used X.
X, sure. Okay, now I got to decide on the symbol. Is this going to be a symbol with an equal to, or is this going to be a symbol that doesn't have the equal to? Yeah. How do you know it's equal to, Kyle? It's shaded in, so it's got to be one of these two symbols. Which way am I shading? To the left or to the right? Yeah, we're shading to the right. Who can give me the name of the symbol that points to the right? The greater than or equal to. And now hopefully it should be pretty clear. X has to be greater than or equal to what number is the circle on? 48. That's it. Okay, so you're just working backwards from the picture. All right, and yeah, last one.
The whole day.
For the whole day. Except if you have to finish the test. Okay, so we'll start by picking any letter that you want. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. So you can pick K. Unless they tell you to use a certain letter, then just use whatever letter they ask. Okay, is this symbol going to have the equal to under it? No. This is an open circle. Okay, so it's either going to be less than or greater than. Which one is this one? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Less than, because it's pointing to the left. And K is less than what number? What's my number? Marissa? 52. Perfect. Okay, so we didn't really solve using algebra today. You'll see more of that tomorrow. All right, so for those people that need to finish your tests, okay, I'll have you work on that. Okay, those people that already finished their test, I'll give you the worksheet for section 2.1. Okay?